right, everybody, welcome back to Thrive Inside, a live stream series brought to you by our friends at PurrCon, dedicated to enhancing the lives of indoor cats through nutrition, wellness, and enrichment. You're going to hear a lot about enrichment today. I'm Sally Williams. I'm the founder of Mission Meow, a nonprofit turning business and personal donations into meaningful grants for small cat-centric organizations. I'm going to be around. I have some information over at Animal Outreach's booth too, so you can find me. So we're here at PurrCon with our very special guest, Tom Job, a veterinary care powerhouse with over 30 years at Noah's Animal Hospitals in Central Indiana. Tom started out as a veterinary assistant, worked his way up to practice manager, and is a certified veterinary journalist. We will touch on that. The first non-DVM in the country to earn that title. Today, he trains new veterinary staff in preventative care and leads all media outreach for NOAA. So let's give Tom a big hand.
Thank you. What a great introduction.
So we are going to discuss practical tips to keep your cats healthier and happier, how enrichment and nutrition play a big role in preventative care. And then we're going to talk about, everybody wants to hear about giveaways. So thank you to PurrCon for sponsoring these conversations. For everyone in the audience, if you would like a free starter pack of PurrCon's product, post a photo or video from this conversation, post it on Instagram or Facebook, and be sure to tag at PurrCon and they will be in touch. So, and we're gonna give, this is being recorded, so we're gonna give the viewers at home a chance to win at this end of this interview as well. So make sure that if you're watching this not live, that you stick around. So welcome, Tom.
Thanks, I'm so excited to be here. KJ reached out to me a few weeks ago, and I mean, I told you earlier, this is marrying two loves of my life. The taking care of animals, nutrition, and then pop culture. How fun is this going to be?
Does it get better?
No.
I mean, this is my first PopCon, so it's been amazing so far. And to have PurrCon, I mean, come on.
It's perfect. Perfect.
I think there's going to be a lot of
actual purr, but
That was a good attempt. That was a good attempt. Okay, so let's dive in. So you've had an amazing career journey from veterinary assistant to national veterinary media leader. What inspired you to stay in the field and keep learning?
That is a great question. So let's go way back in time. Okay, we're going to talk about the 70s probably, right?
Oh.
I'm looking in the audience, nobody was born before that, right? And I can remember being this 12-year-old kid taking my bike and riding down to the local veterinary hospital. I'm like, hey, I want to work here. And they're like, great, we need people to work. What's your experience? I don't have any. Go find experience, right? And I was so proud of myself. I was in 5th grade and I could say the word leptospirosis and nobody else could say it. And
you were ahead of the game.
I was ahead of the game. But then, you know, I got off to college. I got accepted at Purdue's veterinary school. I got accepted at Cornell. But life changed all of a sudden. And I like, okay, I can't do this. I switched, went through different majors. And then in the late 80s, after I graduated, I was actually working in the pet industry. So I worked at a pet store. I was managing a pet store. That's where I met Dr. Mike Thomas, who owns the locally owned and family-owned veterinary hospitals here in Indianapolis, the Noah's family of animal hospitals.
I see where we're going.
Yeah, and he said, you know what, I'm going to help you. Let's, I think you're smarter than being a pet store manager. I hope I don't offend any pet store managers out there, but I just felt like I wasn't meeting my potential.
You had a different calling.
I did, I really did. And so he trained me to do the medical stuff. And one of the things very quickly that we found out was that when we would have, say, a cat, since we're at PurrCon, come in and have a dentistry done, a teeth cleaning, right? Very important to have the oral health taken care of.
Huge.
80% of the people that I talked with afterwards would go home with an appropriate product, whether it's something like the sprinkles to go in the food to clean the teeth, toothbrush, toothpaste, something like that. And
all with the best intentions.
All with the best intentions, true. But you know what? They went out the door with it.
Yes.
And I realized if I'm helping 20, 25 people a week with that, what if I started teaching the other employees, right? So the other 10 employees. Now we've got, 200, 250 people a week being helped. Then I started training all of our hospitals, and at the time we had 7 hospitals, and so we're about 100 employees. So now we're in the
You were
thousands.
having a much larger impact.
Right, but then I realized media.
Oh,
Right?
here we go.
Right, and so I took a sabbatical. I get people that say 6 years is not a sabbatical, you quit. But you know
No,
what?
that's a proper sabbatical.
Yeah, you learn something new and you come back and you apply it at your previous job. And so I got into the Veterinary News Network, and this sounds like it's bragging, and it is bragging, but our stories that we would produce once or twice a month were reaching 10 to 12 million people
Wow.
every month. 10 to 12 million
So
pet
important.
lovers. Yeah.
So important. Well, it sounds like what we said. You were not heading in the direction of your calling, and then I have a similar story, which is not my interview today, but very similar. I was in retail and now ended up in the pet world. Found my calling.
You did, and
It's important to pursue it.
Well, and just for younger folks out there who are maybe thinking, I don't know what I want to do, follow that passion.
Yeah, trust your gut.
Right, exactly. It may not be the most lucrative from a professional standpoint, a money standpoint, but you know what? You're going to get provided for.
Oh,
If you
it's
follow
a
your
much
dream.
more rewarding life.
Absolutely.
It definitely is. Okay, so the phrase preventative care gets thrown around a lot. In real world terms, what does that look like for indoor cats? This is a lot to unpack, just this one question.
It really is, because how often do we hear people say, he's an indoor cat, she's an indoor cat, she's the only cat, so why do I need to go to the veterinarian? But preventative care is more than vaccinations. It's more than the teeth cleaning that I talked about. It's that physical examination. And you'll hear veterinarians talk about this, right? I've been doing this 30 years, and guys, I have never had a cat pop out of a carrier, pop up on the counter, pull a credit card out and say, my kidney's hurt. Can I pay for this
They've
right now?
Ubered there.
They've Ubered
right?
there
Yes.
on their own, right? Now we do see the occasional YouTube video of the dog taking itself to the veterinarian, but we're talking
Yeah.
about cats here. And so they can't talk to us in terms that we always understand, right?
Right.
They hide their illnesses.
They are masters.
Oh, my
I have a
goodness.
background in behavior, so we are.
Well, and I think what people forget is cats are not only really efficient predators, they're prey.
They're prey.
Right?
They're uniquely prey and predator.
Right,
Yes.
and so they've got to hide when they're sick, and so people don't often see those signs. And then the other thing too is just they age faster than we do, right?
There's that.
Right, and so get those physical exams.
That's the one downside of cat guardianship.
But gosh, now I'm seeing cats
Oh, yeah.
22, 25 years old when I
Because
started.
there's so much we can do.
It's so
right?
much we can do, absolutely.
Yeah.
So wellness care is exams, it's vaccinations, it's parasite prevention, it's dentistry, it's preventive blood work. Let's get
Yeah.
baseline blood work to make sure we're finding issues when they're little so we can manage them before
And
they
it's
get
having
big.
that timeline, right? I knew in my time as a behaviorist, I would see clients and they would be talking about things and I'd say, well, when was the last time you had your cat at the vet? And they'd say, well, 5 or 6 years ago. And I'm blown away because the issue is then you take your cat to the vet, something's wrong, but the last time they were seen was 5 or 6 years ago. There's no history. So that history is really, really important, that every year the vets have seen, the weight, the blood work, things like that. You need that history.
We need that history. And the other thing from the other side, from the pet parent side of this is, if you haven't been to that veterinarian in 5 or 6 years, there's not a veterinary client-patient relationship.
Yeah,
And now you've
which
got
is hugely important.
It is, because now you've got an emergency. Let's say the cat hasn't eaten for 2 days. It's vomiting 5-6 times a day. You want to get in, and your veterinarian's like, I'm booked, right?
Yep.
You haven't come in. Why should I bend over backwards for you? And now we've got higher bills, which may
Yep.
be more of a problem. And you're at the emergency hospital. They are not going to let you make payments. Whereas
Yeah.
if you stayed with that veterinarian year after year, there might be wiggle room there.
And I don't work, and I'm not throwing this out there as somebody that, about insurance, but if you can afford it, get yourself pet insurance. It's huge. So I know when we're talking about that, and cats haven't been to the vet in a long time, and we're talking about having this regular history, we should mention one of the hurdles, right? One of the reasons, and I hear this all the time, they don't take their cat to the vet because they don't know how to. The cat hates it. And there's some things that we can quickly just talk about to share that might make that easier for people, right?
Sure.
I think we should.
Yeah, you're referencing a study from probably 15 years ago when they talked about Why don't cat owners take them in? They don't like the carrier. They get upset in the car. They don't like it there. They hiss at the veterinarian, and so they feel that the cat is stressed. The cat is stressed. It's not a good environment. There's a lot of weird smells and everything like that.
Studies showed cats were 50% less likely to see a vet annually than dogs.
Yeah.
50%. We can change that.
And we are. I think we're making great headway with that. The cats are our most fastest growing population right now. You know, you've got somewhere close to 60 million cats in 39 million households right now. So yeah, get the carrier out and leave it out.
Leave it out.
Gosh, you know, put a little catnip in there. Put something, their favorite blanket, their favorite toy.
Put something that smells like, I put something, I put like something like I used, a blanket that I've used, and put it in there because they feel comfortable with my scent in there.
Use treats. What is it? The churros. Not churros, because that's what we eat.
Churros.
Churros, the churros.
Mine sleep in their carrier. It became a safe space.
Right. And the other thing, I just dealt with this the other day. I had one of my clients that she had to bring her cat in. It needed a cystocentesis, so we needed to get urine from the bladder. We wanted it to be sterile, so we can't just catch it out of the litter box. And I said, okay, I've got this appointment set up for you. Make sure you make it there. She didn't put the cat up overnight. She's trying to catch the cat first thing in the morning before she has to drive 25 minutes.
Yep.
And it didn't happen. Okay, so be prepared. Get that used to that carrier.
Yeah, because you know what we do? We pull it out of the basement, the closet, the attic, and it doesn't smell right.
No,
and that's not
gross.
Something that they want to get into.
Yeah.
Also consider when you're buying a carrier how to make it easier for the vet to get access to the cat. So something that can be unzipped for the top, or the ones that clip from the sides and you remove the top, because often vets can do what they need while the cat's just sitting in the carrier. You don't want to be at the vet trying to do the tilt, and they're trying to, it's very, very stressful.
Really stressful. And later today, Dr. Matthew's going to be here, and I'm sure he'll talk a little bit about fear-free type stuff.
Yeah.
And that's, you don't want to be scruffing the cat and pulling him out. That's just
no scruffing, everybody, no.
Yeah, so scary. We only scruff when we have to scruff to keep the cat safe, right?
Yes.
And so all of these things are very important. And the other thing too, and again, maintaining that relationship with your veterinarian, is there are some amazing kitty cocktails that we can give you to give your pet prior to coming in. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, having a that good of a relationship makes everything. And I will say this, I bring cookies and things like that when I go, and my vet loves me. I say thank you all the time.
Yeah, we really like that.
Cupcakes, all those good things. Okay, so we've talked a lot about that. So let's move on to enrichment as preventative medicine. So when we think of preventative care, enrichment isn't always at top of mind. How does a stimulating home environment fit into the picture?
Well, let's think about what these cats were doing millennia ago when they were the African desert cat, right? Before we domesticated them, or they domesticated us, whichever way you want to look at it. They were out,
the second,
exactly, right? They were out and they would sleep for a little while and they would go catch a cricket. And they would sleep for a little while, and they'd go catch a mouse. They had multiple meals a day. They were constantly hunting. They were lean. They burned off their calories. This was all great and mentally enriching. They had to think about their environment. Well, now what do? We put food out for them maybe twice a day if we're a good cat parent, right? But most people are throwing it out once a day. Here's the bowl. Oh, wait, I can see the bottom of it. I'm going to start screaming. So, put more kibble in it. And now we're getting heavy. We're getting overweight. We're getting obese. And we're not doing anything, right? We've got a very sterile environment. And so, oh, you know what? I want to stretch. And so I'm going to stretch my claws out. Oh, here's the couch.
Yeah.
Oh, that feels great, And now we're getting mad at them for doing animal things.
What's normal? What a cat should be doing.
Right. So enrichment, whether it's cat trees, cat grass, the toys, the puzzle feeders, treats, training the cat with clicker training. Yep. All these things can make
so
a more
many
mentally stimulating
things that we can be doing. My house is catified, and there are things that we don't think of that can change. I hear all the time, "Well, my cat doesn't like to play." Not true. Yeah. You haven't found the right toy yet. So.
Well, I'll guarantee you, though, people that say the cat doesn't like to play, keep their cat out of the bedroom at night. And if you put a sound system in, microphones in that house,
they're playing at night.
They're playing at night. They're knocking things over. I hear this all the time. My son has a cat. My wife's allergic, so we don't have a lot of cats. We have big dogs too, and he lives upstairs. He has a whole upstairs.
So you're hearing a lot at night.
Yeah, I get up in the middle of the night because I'm 60 years old, so I have to get up in the middle of the night, and I hear the crash of something. I'm like,
yeah,
what the hell's going on in the bedroom? And I'm sure it's Chopper just doing Chopper things.
Yeah, and it's like wand toys. I very much encourage wand toys, and they're not all the same. Some like a big attachment and they have like a feather. Some prefer something smaller. Some would like to chase a little ball. Puzzles. Puzzles are amazing. Look at puzzle toys. Companies like Cat Amazing that make things so they can hunt. These are things that are really important.
Well,
and easy, and you can make them.
You can make them, and it doesn't take a lot of time. And we think about sometimes, I think when we have both dog and cat parents, oh, I got to take the dog out for a walk. I've got to have him, out for 2 or 3 20-minute walks or an hour-long walk. Play with your cat for 10 to 15 minutes twice a day. It really
makes a massive difference, especially if you're having any unwanted behaviors. Punishment never works. Rewards always work.
I agree.
And if your cats are getting bored with their toys, what I do is I kind of cycle through. I have some that are in a bag in the garage, and I have a station in the house. And then I rotate them. And if you have something that had catnip that doesn't smell like catnip anymore, take catnip, put it in a bag. Put the toy down in there, let it marinate. You'll regenerate that smell again.
And the other thing you can do to rotate toys, clean behind the couch.
Oh yeah,
where all
sniffer.
Yeah,
a sniffer is a great way to do that. So, all right, so let's talk cat grass and catnip. At Pet Greens, we are big believers in greens, and we have them here as part of the enrichment toolbox. So let's talk about what we think about. First, we want to hear what you think about fresh, organic, cat grass, catnip. This is not something that everybody knows about. The cats go outside and they'll eat grass, right? But we can bring that inside. So
yeah, and I think this is a great way because most of us want our cats inside. The outdoor kitties, they do have good lives, the outdoor kitties, but there's so many more dangers, right? Yeah. So why not bring the outdoors inside with a little bit
grass.
Of the pet greens?
This is not like the grass outside. You might have a company that comes and does your lawn, and maybe there might be some unwanted things on that grass. This is a safe way.
This is safe. And the thing too, if we're letting our cat outside to munch on grass, there are a lot of parasites outside, roundworms and hookworms, and those can be transferred to you and your family, right?
No.
Right, so this is safe. I was smelling it earlier. It smells amazing.
Yeah. I have a kitty party in my back hallway all the time. I throw toys out, I get a cat mat down, I put catnip on it, and then I bring the grass out, and then they'll play and they'll roll around, and then they go to the grass and they nibble. Right. And so it's enrichment, and it's also good for digestion.
It really is. It does bring fiber in, and that's going to be good not only for their digestion, but also for their colonocytes in the lower bowel.
It helps things move.
It really does. And, and think about hairballs. How many of us that have cats have issues with hairballs? This is going to help with that as well. It definitely
helps, yeah. And catnip, we all know. And let's say this, not every cat responds to catnip, right? Kittens don't, and then as they grow, they'll respond to catnip, but not all. I have one who really doesn't, but the others go crazy. And this is good, it encourages the zoomies. We want the cats to get the zoomies. We want them to run around and play, and then guess what happens after that?
They sleep.
Nice nap.
They sleep.
Right?
They're not tearing up
things.
It's
a nice nap.
Yeah, and they're so much more relaxed, and they're so much more healthier. They get, you're getting rid of the stress hormones, the cortisol, all that stuff.
Which is important for overall health and wellness. We know that in humans too. And I would say if this is your first time with a cat grass, see how they respond to it. Some go crazy, like, I just know there's going to be dirt on the floor. This is something I have accepted. They just love it. But I would monitor the first time you put it out, leave it out for a while, and then put it away, and then try it again the next day. Anything new, it's just always good to do that, right?
I have the same behavior at Long's Donuts here locally, so.
Okay, so we're going to talk about keeping cats safe and well at every age. For people living with senior cats or a new kitten, how should preventative care evolve?
So let's get rid of the idea that once a year is enough, especially for our senior cats.
Seniors, yeah.
Most veterinarians are saying twice a year, even starting early, blood work once a year. But when you've got a senior cat, if you want that cat to be as healthy for as long as possible, or as my boss says, let's add years to their life so they add life to our years, right? let's get them in twice a year for that examination, at least once a year blood work, because now we've got a baseline. And we talked about this earlier, right? Were the kidneys okay back in 2007, and what do they look like now? You know, if we had others in between, we can start seeing trends. There's so much new technology out there that laboratories, veterinary laboratories, if they have blood work within 6 months of each other, can tell you with a 95% probability if your cat's going to develop kidney disease.
And you know, and there's so much we can do now if it's caught early. And that's the key to, you know, reason why we want to be doing this, to have the vet exams, catch these things early. You know, kidney, diabetes, the things, even cancer. These things, if they're caught early, much better for you and for your cat.
Manageable, okay?
Yes.
They may not be curable. That's the thing I try to share with everybody as often as possible.
It's the gift of time, though.
It really is. And how much pleasure do you get from sleeping with a cat or just having a cat on your lap? And that works for them too. You know, it's nice that it lowers our blood pressure to pet a cat for 20 minutes. It helps them. It lowers their stress level too.
It's beneficial to the human's wellness and the cat's wellness, for sure. Okay, so we're going to go into some cool information. We're going to talk about top tips for cat parents. If you could give every cat parent one simple piece of advice to improve their cat's health, what would it be? I know we're not going to be able to handle
just
one, right?
one.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. Well, you know, I have to go to my strength, okay? And I'm going to let you go to your strength because I think you have an answer for this too. I'm going to go to my strength with nutrition, okay? And so my thing is, when you get that kitten, before they're 6 months old, expose them to a little bit of variety of food, okay? How many years have we said, just feed this dry food, just feed this one?
No,
you know,
variety.
There is, get the chicken flavor, get the ocean fish flavor, get the turkey flavor, and then get the kibble and the canned. Not all cats are going to like canned. Chopper does not like canned anymore. I don't know why, but he just
some
doesn't.
like pate, some like shreds,
some like the stews, the shreds.
Yes,
you know,
so many options now.
And so we want that to happen because if there's an issue that we can help nutritionally later, kidney disease, right? We don't want that cat to be picky. We don't want him to be
dealing with it right now.
Yeah, we want them to be able to say, okay, I am going to eat this. And there's lots of options out there. So let me turn it back to you and be the interviewer for a second.
Mine's going to be enrichment.
Yeah.
Mine's all about enrichment in the house. And I have 3 cats right now, and daily play sessions, hugely important. Not for nothing, I'm having a blast too. Like, I love playing with my cats. I have cat trees, I have scratchers. There's so many websites, places that you can go. If you're not sure, you can reach out to me to figure out where things should be placed around the house, because placement is important. You can go to missionmeow.org. We have over 80 business partners. There are some amazing ones on there that sell toys and, you know, puzzles and things like that. But for me, as with my background in behavior, it's all about enrichment. I have harness trained my cats too. I take mine outside safely. I use the Surfer Cat harness and leash, and my boys love it. And honestly, you know what? That helps with vet visits too, because mine go on a harness. We walk out to the car that way. The carrier's already in the car. My cats ride in what is sold as a doggy, like a bucket, you know, and he gets clipped in there, so he's safely in there. And my guys prefer that because they can see all around them, and they're much less stressed by the time we get to the vet. And then I have a massive carrier. It's ridiculous, but they like it because they can turn around in it. And I safely put them in the carrier, in the car, and then we go into the vet. But harness training is a wonderful thing to do. Very slow process. Don't just put the harness right on the first day and expect you're going to be an adventure cat duo and go out walking around. This is something you're going to take your time with. Yeah. But that's my tip.
I love it. That's perfect.
Okay, so without any more questions, we're going to go into giveaways. So it's giveaway time. Want to win a Pet Greens starter pack? Once again, thank you to Pet Greens for sponsoring these conversations. For everyone in the audience, if you would like a free starter pack of Pet Greens products, post a photo or a video from this conversation on Instagram or Facebook, tag at Pet Greens, and they'll be in touch. So don't forget to do that. If you are watching this episode online, you can also win. Follow at Pet Greens, at Mission Meow, at Tom Doc on Instagram. Here's the thing. I hope you do.
That's so sweet.
Comment below with your cat's name and one preventative care habit you're proud of or want to improve. Remember, that's if you're watching this video. This will be on YouTube. But you all remember what we asked in the audience, because you will have your chance to win as well. Yes, okay. Tom, thank you for sharing your insights and your heart for feline wellness. For more from Tom, follow him on X. That's where you have the X at TomDocCBJ, or check out his media segments at Pet Pals TV. Don't forget to follow Pet Greens. Follow me at Mission Meow for more ways to support your cat wellness journey. And until next time, thank you everybody for watching, and keep helping your cats thrive inside.
Have a great day.